Good afternoon. Welcome back to Kat's Cooking Kitchen. I'm getting ready to do beef tips and mushrooms for supper, and I thought I could get started before my caramel corn had to come out of the oven, but I was wrong. So this is just a batch of my caramel corn that I'm making for several different reasons and several different people. A batch is going to Florida to a wonderful person who helped me out in a pinch with some shipping problems and went above and beyond to make sure everything I needed got where it was supposed to be on time. Can't thank her enough. Thank you very much, Becky. Not that I think you'll see this video, but she was a peach. Here you go. Her name is Becky Cummings. She's an author, and I purchased some of her children's books for a friend. Well, a couple friends, and they're having twins in November, a boy and a girl. So I was very excited to be able to get them these books. And Becky was just as sweet and helpful as she could be. And she made sure when I didn't get the shipping address right, that it got changed to the right shipping address. Now I have a beef chuck roast that I'm putting salt, pepper, and a little garlic on. Daisy. We have a guest today on the floor over here. Oh, that's my sister's dog, Suki. Sister's out of town for the day, so we have Suki. And she is a sweet little Shih Tzu poodle mix. And we're always happy when Suki comes to visit because she's such a good house guest. And Daisy over here is growling and whining because there's somebody at my feet besides her. More pepper. Now, I use a lot of pepper because we like a lot of pepper. And this is a thick, thick, thick cut of meat. This is all to taste, people. If you like a lot of garlic, use a lot of garlic, pepper, salt, whatever you think is what would work for you. And we're going to get this cut up. I have my mushrooms all wiped off and cleaned, ready to chop. I need to get a knife. I remembered to take off most of my bling. So no bling today, except this is a paparazzi necklace I'm wearing and earrings that I haven't taken off, and a bracelet. That is one of my favorites. So if you haven't heard of paparazzi, they are a jewelry company that sells jewelry for $5. Everything is $5, except children's. Children's is $1. So if you want a child's bracelet or earrings, they're $1. And I'm not going to say all, but most necklaces come with earrings, complimentary earrings. So you're getting a necklace and earrings for $5. And they have some really beautiful stuff. If you like long necklaces, medium necklaces, like me, I like the short necklaces or the chokers, either one. And they've got all of that. If you want to go to Facebook, you can go to Sandy Bradley. And I forgot to look up, I think it's Styling with Sandy Bradley is the paparazzi site. And we're going to finish cubing up this beef, and then I will be back to show you what the next step is. You don't have to watch me cut up meat. Okay, you just cut it up into size pieces you want. Any big hunks of fat I might put in the skillet, but I won't use them. later. So hang in there. I'll be right back. Hi, welcome back. Getting ready we've got all our meat chunked up in here in a bowl. Now I'm going to flour it. I got some oil, vegetable oil, just cooking on the stove, or warming up over here on the stove. Let's see if I've got enough flour in here to cover all sides of all this meat. I think it looks pretty good. I'm going to get this going. When it's going pretty good, I'm going to chop up my mushrooms, add them in, and then we'll put some beef broth on it and let it simmer till time to make it into gravy for dinner. And I'm going to have these over mashed potatoes. I haven't decided on a vegetable yet, or if we'll even have one. Because we went out to lunch, we're not going to be starving, so I think just some beef tips over gravy and little mashed potatoes would be good. Okay, I think they've soaked up just about all that flour. Oh, see how they've... Okay, now we're just going to toss them in the oil. Okay, spread them out to an even layer. Kick my heat back up. We want to sear them, so I've got it medium-high now. I had it on medium because I didn't want the grease to get too hot. Okay, now when those have cooked long enough to get a nice brown crust on the bottoms, I'll flip them over, and then I'll be back to chop up the mushrooms and get those sauteing in the pan at the same time. It won't be long, and I'll be right back, and we'll keep this dinner going. And my caramel corn. So there you go. I'm just double dipping in here today. I'll be right back. Hi, welcome back. I've got my meat turned over for the most part. Let's see a piece here that didn't get flipped. They're looking really good. Now we're going to chop up some mushrooms. You throw them in here. That's not going to work. I am limited in space today. Much time I got? 6 minutes to get this going before my stuff comes out of the oven. The caramel corn is, the caramel sauce is made, and then it's stirred over the popcorn, and it's baked in the oven at 225 in 15-minute increment. Oh my God, I can't talk. Increments for an hour. So I have stirred it once. It's in for its second 15 minutes. And it'll come out probably shortly after I get this going. I'm going to pull the meat and let the mushrooms saute a bit. And then I'll add them back in, and we'll put some beef stock in there. Some of my beef soup base. And we'll let everything simmer for a while. And then we'll have beef tips with mushroom gravy. Kind of a Sunday dinner for a Wednesday, but I had these mushrooms to use up. So I got out my beef chuck roast, thawed it out, and thought tonight I better use these mushrooms up. So that's what we're doing. Here I got my bench scraper off, and I haven't even used it. It's because I'm not chopping up a whole wad of mushrooms at a time. I'm just grabbing with my hand here. We've got about 6 more of these to go. It's been a fairly good day and week so far, except my sister lost her sister-in-law, and Connie's husband lost his sister today to Alzheimer's and cancer. So that's why I am dog sitting while they're out of town. They're on their way home to get her, so I don't get to keep her overnight. So if anybody knows Connie and Frank Tracy, please say a prayer for them and the family as they have to say goodbye to Nora this week. Nora was only 73 years old, and cancer is a horrible, nasty disease, and nobody ever wants to hear that anyone they love has cancer. Even though there are a million treatments there's probably a million different cancers, and some of them are quite treatable and curable. Some are not as treatable. So that's the sad thing. So back at it here. We're going to get the meat out. Maybe I better get a glass bowl. Those are going to be hot. There we go. Oh, I had a friend just get out of the hospital from surgery the other day. Or she came home yesterday or Monday. I can't remember which one. So yesterday, I was so busy in the kitchen, I didn't get the camera turned on. And I made her and her family some fresh buttermilk biscuits, my chicken and noodles, and creamy mashed potatoes. And since I didn't have any time left that day to doctor up my green beans, we just got a big can of green beans to heat up, so there wasn't anything real special about the beans. Okay, and here we go with the mushrooms. Oh, it's going to be a lot of mushrooms. My husband is going to be so happy. Whoops, slippery little suckers. I'll get that in a minute. Just lost one. Pretty good. Okay. Gonna salt and pepper these. When you're cooking, you do season in layers. And since I've already seasoned the beef, I'm going to go real light with the seasoning here. And I'm still going to use a little bit of garlic because I haven't used too much. Just want a hint of that. And tonight will be Bob Evans potatoes. I think I told you I was cheating here. Not going to peel and boil potatoes tonight. It's enough to do these. And I'll probably make some corn maybe, or I have some green beans. I have a small can of green beans. I think the green beans would be better than the corn with this meal. So that's what I'm going to do. You guys text me or message me, tell me what some of your favorite meals are. I've got a dinner I want to make, and it's a country fried steak with a breaded cube steak. Love that stuff. I usually, when I make my baked steak, I pour gravy over it, bake it in the oven for about an hour or so after it's been cooked. But turn that down, turn this one on. Because caramel corn needs stirred again. So this is 30 minutes into its cook. We got 30 more minutes to go and one more. Well, I'll stir it again when it comes out after the third stir. Look at this. Oh. People. This is a hard treat to not take part of. I have to make sure all the people I promised get some, so this is what I'm doing. Tomorrow night we got invited out to our friends Phil and Mary Graves. And we're going to sit around a campfire and just catch back up. Haven't seen them for, it's been a little over a year. So they live the rogue life, the gypsy life. They have a fifth wheel and they live in that all year round. They usually come back up here. They bought some ground up here and they sit part of the summer. Part of the summer they might go to Michigan. They get to travel all over, and they go to Florida and Georgia and all those places that are a lot warmer than us when it starts getting cold and nasty up here. I'm going to let those brown just a little bit more and set my timer here for my corn. There we go, 15 more minutes will be the 45-minute mark on the cook, and I will be back. Already 16 minutes have flown by. Hang in there. This is going to be worth looking at, y'all. This is going to be so good. Hey, I thought I'd show you what I was doing here. I've added some flour to my cooked mushrooms. I'm going to let that cook for a minute. Then we're going to add beef broth. I'll get a can, I don't know, somewhere between 2 and 4 cups probably of beef broth. I'll know better as I get it done. But then I'll be back in just a shake of lamb's tail. Promise. Hi, back. I'm going to put a nice little spoon. That's probably a tablespoon, and it's stuck to my spoon. Okay, here we go. Better than bouillon, beef. And if you open the jar, you need to refrigerate it after that. Shelf stable until you open it. And it's rich and good. Get that beef bouillon mixed in there with my mushrooms. Oh, this smells good. My mushrooms are coated in the flour for the gravy, to thicken the gravy. I use somewhere between 1/4 and 1/2 cup of flour. I do not measure. I just go by how much oil is left in the pan. That flour needs to take it up and soak up the oil, and then we let it brown for a minute or two so there's no flour taste in our gravy. Oh my gosh, that's good. That is coming together. Can you see that? I hope you can. We're going to add the whole box, which is 4 cups. Those of you that watched my chicken pot pie with biscuit topping, I left it too dry, and then by putting the biscuits on it, they soaked up some of the juice that was in there, so my vegetables were too dry. There just wasn't enough gravy. There was vegetables and galore in there, but not enough gravy. So I should have put a whole cup or a whole soup can of milk in it instead of half. And I'm going to double the recipe and do it again. Less biscuits, more pot pie. That's what's going to happen here. I want this to come up to boiling again. We're going to add the meat, put it on simmer, and let it cook till everything thickens the way I want. And that will be dinner. So we'll be back when it's ready. Hang in there. I want you to see this. Not kidding. It's going to be so good. Hey, here's our gravy and our meat. and it seems just not quite thick enough. So what I got was some McCormick envelope brown gravy. And so I don't want it to lump up. I'm going to pour it through my little sift here and stir it in. And this gravy will help thicken this just a little bit to the perfect consistency. Oh. Oh, it smells so good. It smells so beefy. There we go. You see? You just keep stirring it till you get it all incorporated into your meat. Oh, look at that. That is so good. That is ready. Got the potatoes cooking in the microwave. Gotta get my corn going. We're about 10 minutes away from 10 minutes away from dinner, folks. So hang in there. When it's ready, I'll be back. Hi, we're back. Everything's ready. My potatoes and my green beans on the plate. And our gravy is pretty thick. But I'll tell you, I don't want it running all over my plate. I want it to have a little bit of body to it. So here we go. We'll get a spoonful of this. Look at that. That look good? We're going to find out. Gonna find out. I don't want a big hunk of meat. If they're all big. There we go. I don't have to taste green beans. This is really good. Now, real quick. I used a 2.5 pound chuck pot roast, cubed it, floured it, put a little oil, I don't know, just enough to cover the bottom, a little bit of oil, probably 1/4 inch up on the pan, threw my floured tips in there, browned them on both sides, took them out, let them rest, added my chopped diced baby bellas. That was 1 pound of baby bellas in here, and then we added a full box of beef stock, about 1/4 cup of flour on the mushrooms before the beef stock. Let them cook and simmer in that and thicken, and then we added the beef broth, and then I added salt and pepper, and I added the packet that I seem to have already thrown away of McCormick's brown gravy, because it wasn't quite thick enough. And that gravy just did the trick. And oh, I'm telling you, watch the video again. I'll try and write it out sometime. I've got so much doing tonight, I'm not going to promise. But I will try to write it out and put it in the comment section on my cat's kitchen, Cat's Cooking Kitchen Facebook page. Can't do it on YouTube. I've got to have somebody that's YouTube savvy teach me how to use YouTube. Right now, YouTube's smarter than I am. So, but it'll be on both places if you want to watch the video. And share. I think a lot of people don't realize that I had this ready and just without having all the interruptions that I take on this, I could have this ready in 40-45 minutes. Pretty easy. So, you don't have to spend hours. You could throw this in the crock pot on low for 4 or 5 hours after you brown your meat. And I like to saute my mushrooms, but you don't have to. You can just throw them in the crock pot. Throw them in the crock pot. They'll be ready when you get home. Peasy. I used the Bob Evans potatoes tonight because I didn't have time to mash my own. And they're a great substitute. I don't know, I mean, might be too expensive for a family of 6 or 8 or whatever, but for 2 people, it's reasonable for us to buy them. So you all go out and have a great hump day, or what's left of it. And we're nearing into the end of the week and into the weekend. So go out there, be the best you can be as happy as possible. Happy gets you farther than grouchy or mad or sad. We're all sad, grouchy or mad at some point or another. We try to keep it to a minimum. Okay. It's been great having you back in my kitchen, and I hope you'll come back and see me again. Take care, y'all.